My best friend is having a baby with my abusive ex-husband. My 28M ex-husband, Mike, 37M, was really awful to me. The abuse was primarily psychological, though there was absolutely a physically violent and sexual element to it as well. As abusers tend to do, he pretty effectively isolated me from more or less every positive or supportive influence in my life so that I was entirely dependent on him. The only exception to this was my best friend, 33F, Jane. Jane and Mike have had mutual friends since university, and I actually met her at a party one of those mutual friends was hosting shortly after Mike and I had started dating. They'd never really personally been friends prior to this, but they have known each other for longer than either of them have known me. By the time Mike and I's relationship ended, Jane was quite literally the only friend I still had, and she'd been my sole confidant for quite some time. I had told her everything he had ever done to me, frequently crashed at her place after bad fights, or when he'd kick me out of the house, and she literally helped me put together and execute my escape plan to finally get away from him. I really thought that she was in my corner about all of this. Mike and I split just shy of a year ago, and I've since moved to a different town, Tilda, 40 minutes away from my old one. I'm close enough that Jane and I have still been able to meet up quite regularly, but far enough away that we're not seeing each other as much as we were. Last month, Jane told me that she's pregnant, and obviously I've been super excited for her. She initially told me that the dad was just a guy she'd been having casual sex with, who had since decided he's not interested. But that was okay because she's in a position where she could comfortably raise a kid by herself. I offered to take her to appointments and such, but she said she had it sorted, and we both shared in the excitement of discussing potential baby names and stuff. Fast forward to last week, and I posted a pic of Jane and I on social media and got a message from an old mutual friend of ours who said she was surprised that the two of us were still friends. I asked why, and she dropped the bombshell that Mike is Jane's baby daddy and that the two of them have been living together for almost 6 months. Obviously, I was shocked by this, and it honestly took some time to process. I didn't want to believe it, but the woman who told me isn't really the type to lie about something like that, so I ended up messaging Jane yesterday and asking her what was going on. Turns out it's true. She and Mike got together shortly after I left town, and they're planning on getting engaged and then married after the baby comes. She said that she didn't want to tell me yet because she knew I was still healing, but that she had planned to tell me eventually. I asked her how she could be with him when she knows all of the nitty-gritty details of everything he did to me, and she just responded by telling me he's not like that with her. She said that he's very well aware that she doesn't approve of how he treated me and that she still supports me and everything, but that the two of them are different, and that she shouldn't have to put her own feelings aside to protect mine. We ended up in a bit of an argument because she said it's selfish of me to try and make her relationships about myself, and that I should just let her be happy and be happy for her. She also made a bit of a snarky comment about how Mike never abused any of his other partners before me. So I'm the exception, rather than the rule, and that I should remember that before I cast aspersions about his general character. I'm just at a loss. This man ruined my life for years, irreparably destroyed my relationship with most of my family, and left me with lifelong physical and mental scars. I'm happy he's not mistreating Jane, I guess, but I could never view a guy who did something like that to her in a positive light, certainly not positive enough to marry him. I don't think I can ever trust her again, but I still struggle to make new friends even now, and if I lose her, then I'm kind of on my own again. I just don't know what I should do.